from the Maul shelter. About 7 o'clock. Still coming down out there, but not hard at all. I was expecting way more rain. Figured I'd be held up here all day for sure, but I'm definitely thinking about shoving off now. Definitely didn't get as much rain as I was thinking last night. Last time I looked at the radar, it showed like a big patch of green just hovering over me all day today. It's barely drizzling. Batteries are low, food bags low, zero service here. I'm going for it. I heard a tree go down somewhere out in front of me. Sounded like a big boy. Camped here northbound. Nice little spot. See if I can get service by the hostel. Bear Garden people are gonna take me into Marion. I would just stay here, but they're not quite open yet. They don't have any internet. Wouldn't be able to upload the video till tomorrow. So I'm just gonna duck into Marion for the night. Might even take a zero there tomorrow, to be honest. Big thanks for the ride, guys. Y'all be sure to check out the Bear Garden Hostel if you're hiking through. Back at the hostel in the private room, thanks to Miss Carrie. Really appreciate it. Yeah, today was much needed. Yesterday got really stressful. I probably didn't explain very well. I'm gonna try to show y'all one far out what happened. So this is where I started yesterday morning at Jenkins Shelter. From there, I followed trails south along this ridge. Right about here, the snow was starting to get deeper and deeper, really slowing my pace. So I decided to bail out on this blue blaze. It didn't completely connect to the road, but I figured it would be a short bushwhack. A few hundred yards or so in, I checked far out, thinking I would be close to the road, but it put my cursor way out here somewhere. When I videoed about bushwhacking and cutting my hand, I had just met back up with the road right here. I followed Burke's Garden Road until I got to Medley Valley, where I took a left and followed it all the way down. Medley Valley Road turned into West End Road. So at this point, I'm on a road, and I'm thinking eventually I'm going to be able to get a ride back to the hostel. It was already stressful. I had this cut on my hand I wanted to deal with. I was over the snow, but didn't work out like that. I knew this hostel was going to be closed. I already called a couple times, so this wasn't a surprise. After passing the Burke's Garden Hostel, I continued on to Walker Gap, where I crossed trail. And I could have got back on right there and went another mile or two north to the Chestnut Knob shelter, but I bailed off onto the road back at the Davis campsite because the snow was deep, and then I cut my hand. I was just trying to get into town, so I passed trail up and kept going on this road that got skinnier and skinnier and basically turned into a fire road little trail, creek bed. So I continued down West End Road towards 625, assuming it would be like an established, accessible highway with at least spotty cell phone service. That definitely was not the case. Figured if I could get somebody to come back there with a 4x4 to get me, it wouldn't be cheap, and there wasn't service anyways. So I knew the weather said they had heavy rain coming in, and decided my only option was to link back up to trail right around here and follow it down south to the next shelter. The Not Maul branch shelter, about 5 more miles south. It ended up being a pretty stressful day for me. The reason I decided to bail at the Davis Farm campsite in the first place is because the snow was really bad. And then I kept going through Walker Gap right before Chestnut Knob shelter because it was still deep snow, thinking I'd be able to get a ride out, but couldn't get service and road conditions were bad. So ultimately, I had to do another 5 miles into the Not Maul branch shelter. And luckily, the snow was a lot less intense on that little stretch than it was before Chestnut Knob, because I was racing the rain at that point. I knew it was supposed to come down pretty hard last night, and it did come down eventually. Not really hard, but had me stressed.